So I saw this. I just thought I might talk to you guys about it because this is interesting, right? Anthony Starr wants to play Albert Wesker in the new Resident Evil movie. And quite frankly, the man is Albert Wesker. And we already know that he can play a good type like that. Like, we know because he's in The Boys, he plays Homelander. The man looks like Albert Wesker. But if you know anything about Resident Evil, I don't know how they're going to do this, but guys, Albert Wesker's black now. How are they going to pull this off? Changing him back. I'm kidding. I honestly don't get why the series did that. Why did you promise us a good series and then just take a fat shit on us? But this has been happening with Resident Evil for a long time. Resident Evil has this kind of curse about it. Because the first movie was fine. The first movie was not the first game, right? It's telling a different story. But it tried to feel like the first game. It tried to get you in that same comfort in your head. I feel like it built the same world. It made me feel like I felt during the first game. The second movie was okay. It was okay. Wasn't great. Didn't feel like the second game. But I think this is part of a larger rant that I'm going to have to go into here. By the time Resident Evil hit Code Veronica, I was already starting to be like, this is not a zombie game. Okay? We're starting to go, like, downhill. Now, I get for most of you as newer Resident Evil players, if you were newer and you got into it on, like, the 4th or 5th game or whatever, I mean, the one with Leon, let's be honest, it was good. It was good. It was a solid title. It didn't feel like Resident Evil, though. Like, the Resident Evil that we grew up with, was zombies. And yeah, you would occasionally have these different enemy types. But it was explained that they were just evolutions of the virus. And it was very set in stone. It was very easy to understand. Everything was easy to understand. And you had your puzzle shit. I actually did like that. I mean, I know nowadays it's like, how can they do that when there's interesting QuickTime events, right? So how can they possibly put slow puzzles and QuickTime events in the same game? But I actually did like that. I did like the character and like world building where they were interacting with stuff and like solving puzzles. And some of the puzzles were actually like, hey, this was pretty fucking sick. But you can't have that in an action game. Not in the way that you could with the first game. And I know there's like note systems where you find a note and you read it, okay? But that's not the same as like really feeling immersed in these worlds. And they were doing that on the PlayStation 1. The original PlayStation. So Resident Evil for me really took a turn, like I said, in Code Veronica, and it just continued to get worse. And honestly, you look at something like Dead Rising and you say, oh, well, that's just about the same. I mean, how did we go from a foundational zombie game? And when I say foundational, I mean, like, when you think of a zombie game and you say video games, this is the one. Maybe, you know, because I don't know everything that's ever been made. Maybe it wasn't the one that started it, but it was the one that fucking put it up there. Like, this was it. You know? And if we follow the logic on the movies and stuff and the games. It's like you have the T virus. The T virus gets released. That's how you get your stuff. But now in today's game, they don't give a fuck about the T virus. It's all about clones and shadow governments and villagers. Just killing poor people. I mean, you're killing a fuckload of poor people. You got cults that have worms in their heads. It's like now you're fighting aliens, I guess. Dude, I'm just saying it's departed very far from the thing that it was. The thing that, like, okay, if I had a restaurant and I sold you this bomb-ass steak, and then slowly but surely, every time you come back, we change it a little, and then you're on the 12th one, and you're like, this is not the same. This is not why I came here. This is not why I originally came here. I still like the place, and I'll still come here, but this is not why I came here. That's what it feels like to me. I feel like foundationally, they felt like they had to keep evolving the series as if we wouldn't accept them just keeping a certain status quo about the games. Was the game sales this terrible when it was just what it was, right? Is that why they changed it? I'm not sure. The storyline is all over the fucking place now, and I've stopped caring a long time ago. And the movies, quite frankly, can we be honest? The movies are fucking trash. The first couple are okay, maybe even the third one. But then that also went to shit. They don't know what they're doing. And I don't blame them, because you know what? Even the games don't know what they're doing. I know that some people like source material. The source material is garbage. I mean, I don't know what the people making the movies are supposed to go off of, because they're pretty far departed from Resident Evil as well. And they went in a different direction. They tried to say, like, well, what about these zombies, guys? Shouldn't we still have these zombies in here? Like, nope, all of those zombies should be worm and head people by the fifth movie, or by the fourth movie. So I think the whole franchise is suffering. I don't think it has many more left in it, because it's definitely not what I grew up with, and it's definitely not. I know that, like, for people who entered the series late, right? I could see you saying, well, they're good games. And that's not wrong. The transitional period between the first games and the new games was kind of trash. But the new games are good. It's just not Resident Evil. It's a new Resident Evil. Call it New Resident Evil. And it's for an entirely different audience. And I believe it's to sell more. I'm not sure. But the storyline's completely departed. Now, the only thing about Resident Evil that I can say I truly love, and this is going to be a very hot take. I'm so sorry, guys. Is their animated movies. Their animated movies have done a really good job. I don't care what anyone says. Have done a really good job about keeping the feel of those first games and making animated stuff to go along with those ideas, and actually pushing the storyline a little bit. Now, they've got different little snippets, different, like, sections of movie, and not all these animated movies really go together. But I would say overall, they do a really good job. But since Resident Evil has just become Dead Rising, I don't see why it lost what made it special, almost. But that's just a hot take from someone who was there when they first came out, and it was one of the things that I played, and I almost, shit my pants playing it. I remember getting, especially the first game, but the second game had the 2 discs, and you could play as either or, and that was so that was so innovative and that was so crazy. And a few games were doing that at the time where they had multiple discs, but this was like, man, you could each disc let you play a different character. It's like its own entire game, you know? But back to this whole Wesker thing. I think the man is perfect for the role. I think he's absolutely perfect for the role. I think he would be amazing if they stick to like Wesker's like original shit. I think he'd be great. I don't see anything wrong with it. I think he's literally got the right personality, the right look. I mean, he is Wesker. That's crazy. This would be fucking hype. But let me know how wrong I am. I mean, I have a lot of opinions about a lot of things, and not all of them are mainstream opinions, okay? So not a lot of people are going to like super agree with what I say, and that's fine. I totally get that. I'm saying most of the stuff that I talk about is coming from a place where I feel like it's something in me. Something in me is telling me, man, this just is not right. Or it's not the same. It doesn't have that same quality. And I get it. The franchise is very old, and the original people that worked on it don't work on it anymore in most capacity. I mean, I would say if you started off and you were 20 years old at the studio that made the first game, you probably won't be working there now, right? Like, you probably would have retired by now. But I don't know. I don't know the full thing, but I will say that it feels departed from what it originally was. And I think a lot of games have done this over the years, and it is what it is. But I think with Resident Evil, it's had a fundamental shift away from what made it popular. Is the only thing in my mind, because it's not like Zelda games nowadays, for example, have departed so far from the original that they are, if you looked at them and called them different names, you might mistake them for a different game. Like, you might mistake them for being an entirely different game with a different storyline. Because they don't look the same, they don't feel the same. I mean, they did have a certain level of graphics, this Asian arcade style, that they've kept over the years. But I think with these new engines and the way everything is progressing, we're going to see a lot of those blend together into different spaces, and everything's going to look the same. So, tell me I'm wrong in the comments. That's totally fine. You have the ability to do that or reply to every comment. But if you want to see more of your favorite Jack Black impersonator, and you want to see more of these things where I just kind of look into the camera and bitch, or not look into the camera, as it were. I do a lot of not looking at the camera. Go ahead and like and subscribe, and share my video with someone that you hate and force them to watch it by tricking them and saying, hey, this was a really cool review or something. I don't know. That'd be funny. You could do that. Anyway, you guys have a good day.